Welcome to ThunderBolt Gamers. Please like and subscribe. Let's start the video.
Hey guys, it's Dave from ThunderBolt Gamers, and you are watching the ThunderBolt Gamers interviews. This is where we interview some of our favorite streamers and other important gaming people in the industry and have a lot of fun with it, so it's going to be really cool. On today's show, we sat down and had a conversation with SavageStringer, who is on Twitch, has an amazing following, really good kids on there, and Savage is one of the best streamers I've seen on Twitch. He is really, really good, and you guys are really going to enjoy this conversation with Ben Tiller, who is SavageStringer. Check it out.
I'm doing good. I'm doing well, man. I'm just waking up, doing my early routines before I actually go live myself right now.
That's excellent. That's really cool, dude. I wanted to have you on the show. We wanted to start kind of a podcast that was going to talk about streamers and what they do and all that. I happened to come across your stream. I don't know, it must have been over a year ago now. In that stream, we played together, and then I realized you're a streamer, obviously. Then I found the stream, which was cool. And then I learned something a lot on your stream watching it, and that was that the streaming community was actually very close. And what I saw in your stream and the chat that was on there was just an amazing display of like great people needed help. You were like, help people. I mean, it was really, really something special. So I guess start us from the beginning. Like, how did you get into streaming? Like, how was this an idea for you?
Honestly, it was mainly my friend's idea. They said, and so it was a combination of one of my friends, Casper, and one of my old friends I've known since I was real young. But it was kind of a joint kind of thing from them. Casper's like, hey, you should get into streaming. It's really fun. It's really cool, like kind of content side of thing. You seem like you got a really good personality for it. And he kind of helped me set up the steps to get into that whole area, and just kind of planted the seed in my head. But I never really thought I'd be like, all right, sitting in front of my computer, whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna play. Like, is this something I really want to pursue? And then my other friend is like, dude, you interact with people for a living, being from the restaurant industry, bartending, serving, and you're absolutely destroying people in video games, whether that's shooter games or primarily or different sports games. And it's just like, it was really cool seeing the amount of support that my friend groups was giving me. Just be like, just try it out, see what you think. And so one night finally got everything together, and I was like, all right, so I'm good at games, I'm good at interacting with people, I might as well go ahead and try this out. Tried it out for about a month, and then I was going over the numbers, and well, I had no idea what I was doing, I'm be honest. I just sat in front, played games, and said hello to the people that came into to chat, the one or two people that came in every now and then, and I was like, all right. They're like, hey, you're really good at this. You're pretty good at the game, and they enjoyed it. So, I just continued, I guess, and I grew at a very rapid rate for the time that I was doing everything. And yeah, I guess the two bigger reasons why I started streaming in the first place was Casper and my friend Bailey back in Chicago, and just throughout the whole thing, they just supported me and told me like, hey, like this is something you could absolutely do. So
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I was thinking about, I've been thinking about you a lot in this gaming community because it's an interesting community. When I started looking at it, and I come from a totally different community, an outdoor community, and my kids really wanted to get into gaming. So this is part of the reason I started ThunderBolt Gamers. But the whole concept of streaming, when I looked at it from a perspective of you have these platforms, right? And you and I talked a little bit last night, I think it was about Mixer, but you have Twitch, you have Facebook, you have you had Mixer, and you have YouTube, which are pretty much the main four. And then obviously Mixer going out of business doesn't help. But what I noticed the most was the hardest growth that I seen was, well, maybe not really YouTube as much, but I thought Twitch was very difficult, and that's why when I look at your stream and I see how awesome you've done and the hard work you put in, it's pretty incredible, really, to have a growth rate on Twitch, because on Twitch there's so many streamers. There's so many. So I
Absolutely,
guess
yeah.
what do you think is your success for that you've been able to grow? Is it the communication with people? Is it just the way you play? I mean, what are those things you think help you, get that growth rate?
I actually get asked this question quite I mean, a similar question, like quite often. Like I'll have like other smaller streamers or streamers around my area and my level, and they're like, okay, so I see that you have, and there's various social trackers you can go on online. You can see how fast people grow, like regularly. Like I'll have people come in and like, I've been streaming for like 2 years, 3 years, 6 years even, and it's like I don't have a quarter or a fraction of the amount of followers that you have, or concurrent viewers, or people coming in and out, or like the connections that you've made in the fraction amount of time that that they've been streaming, and they're always like looking for tips. So what I like to say is, it's like my biggest tips is like, I think people really are looking for that human interaction, that connection. Um, and there are also people that are looking for that entertainment side. I know so many people, I'm constantly getting like DMs on different social media platforms or Discord, and then it's like, hey, just watching your stream has really helped me out in like this tough time. I'll have a kind of like a go-to saying, good vibes up, keeping the good vibes up and keeping a positive mentality. Um, and that human interaction, which I know a lot of people are looking for. But also there's people that are like, hey, if you're not good at like interacting with people, if you're not good at like talking, or like not comfortable enough, like, but you're really good at the game, then excel in that. Like get like what's called a hand cam, which shows off your mechanics, your physical mechanics, versus like, or if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, get something to add that dynamic to show people like what you're doing, and then advertise yourself as like, hey, I'm more of a really good at this game, more of a this kind of competitive side. So really, I think it's more of focusing in on the like what your strong suits are, and um like I said, focusing in on those particular skills, because like I'm not I'm not immaculately great at any game. Like I wouldn't consider myself a pro at any game, but I would say I'm above average, and I like to interact with people. So I kind of use that to my advantage. Like, hey, if someone doesn't like my face or how I say things, they can watch my gameplay and be like, okay, learn a thing or two from my game. Or if someone's like, man, this guy's absolutely terrible, um, but I can I make them smile every now and then, like, like a bit of dynamic for each thing. So that's my biggest thing when what I tell people.
So
It's like,
what's been
fine. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's been your favorite part of this whole thing, this whole experience of streaming and doing this type of job? What's been your favorite part of it?
Honestly, is like and I know it sounds super cliche, but it's like the connections you make. It's absolutely, and I'm not talking about like networking and that kind of thing. I'm talking about like I said, getting those DMs from people like, hey, you've really like helped, like bring like gets me so emotional every time, like to get a little soft for a second, to get a little cheesy, a little in your feelings, like really hits home for me, just like seeing people react that like, hey, you've helped me out in this tough time, or you've really been an inspiration for me, or thank you. And it's like literally the other day I was like, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And then someone replied to me, and was like, I'm having a better weekend that you replied to my comment. And something as simple as that was just like made me smile. I was like, honestly, that's one of the most fulfilling, satisfying things that, for me at least, streaming. And just like I feel like I can be myself and have a community accept me for like who I am and what I do. And I think that's the biggest part of streaming, and people like enjoy my company and being together. And it's really cool seeing the interactions, how the community comes together as a whole. I think another huge part of it for me.
Absolutely. Well said. And I would say, I mean, I saw that firsthand when watching your stream and following, like I said before, the interactions that took place, the kids that needed help. I mean, there was always support, not just from you, but from your community to those kids, which is amazing. And that's why I was like, man, this is like really incredible. Like this is something that you don't see every day. And being an outsider and being a little bit older, I don't think like I never thought of Twitch as I'm like, oh, it's just something for kids to play games on. Who cares? It is
Hmm.
what it is. It's tiny. It's not even. But really, it's actually opposite of that. It was actually an amazing experience. Like bullying, right? There was like literally someone bullies somebody. Other people like tell them like, shut up, blah, don't bully that kid, right? I mean, things like that it's just
Yeah,
incredible the support that your community is given to other gamers, and they help each other too. I've seen them go over and say hi to each other on different streams. Just
absolutely. Yeah.
very, very well done. I was thinking about that the other day too, because I was playing with my friend Decoy, and we were playing, and this kid, we did a random squad, and this kid said, we said, "Hey, how's it going, man?" He's like, "Oh, not good, not good." We're like, really? And he's talking, and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, I want to learn to rap, blah blah blah, or something like this. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." My buddy's like, "Rap for us," and he's like, "I've never done it in front of people." My buddy's like, "No, go ahead, man. I mean, who cares? You'll be doing all the time." So he did it, and then he's like, "I've never done that. Oh my god, thank you so much." But it was crazy, like just something so simple, just to show someone some love. I just think it goes a long way, and I think your stream does that. And so, I mean, if you're listening to this or seeing this the first time, absolutely check out SavageStringer on Twitch. I mean, unbelievable. All your other platforms are great. I was going to ask you, one of the hardest
Appreciate it.
transitions I've seen you do is going from Chicago to California. Your journey from that point to the point where you're at today. Can you kind of walk us through that a little bit?
Um, how do you mean exactly?
Well,
Just
I
like,
know it was an emotional time for you. I watched it through the stream. You stream relentlessly. So was it hard to leave Chicago? I mean, is that where you grew up?
yeah. So I mean, like I've lived in Chicago, in the Chicago area, my pretty much since I was about 3. So and I've yeah lived there my whole life, and so I don't know. I don't think it was very hard to quite leaving Chicago itself. I mean, let's see. I've always been like, you see the opportunity. If you, I'm very like, man, it's a tough
I know
question.
it's a hard
This
question.
is
I know.
this
I
is a
know.
tough
I had
question.
I had to ask. I lived it with you. I lived it through the stream with you, and that time was you were working so hard. I mean, literally 24-hour streams, and it was just interesting the transition. And I just wanted to always ask you, like, how are you doing? How did it go? Was it a great smooth transition? Did you feel good about it? Is there things you wish you could go back and if you want? Were you ever planning to go back to Chicago? Things like that.
Yeah. As far as the overall transition itself, it was more like, especially during that whole time, it was more like disbelief, like I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Is more, but all the emotions, I guess any normal emotion that anyone have. I was excited, I was nervous, sad to be leaving friends behind, but I think overall it was just, I don't know, because at the time during that transition, really, at least during that time, it seemed very, for those that don't know the whole backstory, it seemed like, oh, okay, I'm going from Chicago to California, but there were a lot of things. There was like, when I initially, before I came to Cali, there was a month period where like I wasn't sure what was actually going to happen. And so like my final stream in Chicago before I went to Cali, my final stream in Chicago was like an extremely emotional one because I didn't know because I didn't move to Cali strictly for streaming. Um I moved because because well, residency, just like um it wasn't like this is where I'm gonna be going to stream. It was like, oh no, I'm being offered a place to like take refuge in. So but that month between, so I thought that my final stream it was extremely emotional one because I had to say goodbye. I wasn't saying goodbye to just streaming. I was saying goodbye to my community. I was saying goodbye to everybody that's ever supported me. I was saying goodbye to everybody that's invested at what 6 months, 7 months of their lives into me at that time. And that's why it was so emotional for me leaving Chicago, or at least that time period, because I didn't know if I was even going to come back to streaming. I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I didn't know um, all the ins and outs at that time. I thought I was going to be like, that was going to be at least for much longer than what ended up happening. So that's why it was so iffy for me. It was very up in the air for me at that time. That's why I can't give you like a definitive, oh, I was absolutely like ecstatic to come to Cali, which I was though. I was. So it kind of things began to just really work out really nicely, and I ended up coming here and getting things set up. And
I just think it was a good
Casper, like,
example of hard work. I mean, just a lot of hard work went into that, and you guys getting back online and doing what you've done. I just think it's amazing, to be honest, when you look at it from my perspective, from outsider's perspective, to get the stream back going. What have you noticed different about the stream from Chicago to here? Have you lost some viewers because your time zone changes or anything like that, or gain new ones from that?
I would say that I've actually managed to. I think some people. I don't think I've lost viewers in the sense that I still have them come back and check in. But again, especially with, I think part of it is that month I was gone, people were also very unsure of what was happening. Um, so I don't think I necessarily lost viewers in the sense that I also gained more, because it's like my stream schedule right now is so dynamic. So like if I stream earlier in the day, I'll get my regular viewers that are usually here and my regular that I used to see before. But because of the time zone difference, I'll see them going to bed. Like I'll see them like later, or like they'll have. So I'm kind of still, I don't know. Hard to put. I'm still working out all the details myself, trying to find a good middle ground, because I'm still trying to make sure I'm reaching the people all the way on the other side of the country, the 3 hour time difference. Because I used to be like, okay, I'm a stream from 4 to 4 in the morning, and then from 4 in the morning till 8 a.m. or 8, 9, 10, I'll do like offline video work, and then 10 to 4, I'll go to sleep, and then 4 to that was my schedule. So now I'm readjusting for all that, and that was my schedule before I moved out here. And now it's just like, I don't know. I'm like going off on different tangents right now, but
Let's talk about mechanics real quick. When we talk about mouse and keyboard, and let's talk about two things here, I guess. Number one, have you always played on mouse and keyboard, or did you do controller before? And the second question is, what's your favorite games to play right now?
so I actually used to be one of those controller kids, one of those kids that picked up used both hands on one little thing. I was one of those people. Uh, actually, so I started on Fortnite, and I actually got really good on controller on Fortnite. These were the early seasons, back before everybody was yelling at aim assist and nobody knew how to build. And if anybody knows the Fortnite mechanics, and everybody was still kind of like excited to see like be flying across the map, and before it got super I don't know. I got a lot to say about the Fortnite community, but I'm gonna avoid that for now. But I ended up being pretty good at it on controller, and then finally, I always felt like I was at a slight disadvantage. Actually, like I wasn't as quick doing some of the mechanics that are in Fortnite that aren't in other games. So that's what initially made me switch to keyboard and mouse. And I would absolutely recommend uh, keyboard and mouse over controller. I feel like once you get the dynamic of switching, once you like get used to it and you make the adjustment, it's absolutely worth the payout. Because I don't know what it is. You see really amazing, talented players on controller able to keep up with PC. but that's just not how my brain worked. And so that's why I recommend at least trying, because maybe your brain doesn't work like the traditional controller way. Or maybe your brain works better two-handed on two different peripherals, and so that's why I recommend at least trying it.
How about for games? So we know you play Fortnite, but what other games you've been playing, or what's your favorite games, I should say?
So other games that I've been playing are, I like I said, I've been playing Fortnite primarily. That's why my main thing when I initially grew my community over. But I started playing actually Call of Duty Warzone frequently. I'm actually a huge fan of Call of Duty Warzone. I love the game. Um, I really like where it's at right now, and I think it's different. I like the pacing, the the different mechanics and different dynamics. And I actually used to play Call of Duty a ton on controller, and now it's all on keyboard and mouse, just because it's easier for me. I've gotten into Overwatch. I touched into it, but that is one of the most confusing. I don't know what's going on. I find the guy with the fastest weapon and I kind of go for it, and all right, this is what I'm doing. Um, let's see. Actually, Valorant is a pretty good one. Every now and then I'll play Valorant. Honestly, I'm horrible at it though, so that's probably why I stay away from it. It's a different paced game. And Apex. So I've actually become more of a variety streamer. So I'm reaching out into different
Nice.
communities and reaching out to other streamers, and it's actually really nice because I'm beginning to grow my community and their community, and just having that streamer to streamer interaction and having a dynamic of people to play with, whether that's on different games, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
sharing our communities. So we're all growing together,
As far
which is
as
actually
far
really
as
nice.
Fortnite players go, and you play with a lot of people, who's the best players you can think of you've played with that you think are like, wow, those kids are crazy? I know it's a lot of them, but is there anybody that stood out to you that's like, man, this kid's unbelievable?
Yes, two in particular. One, I met him in a random game, and I remember his name was Bugsy. He goes
I
by
knew it.
Bugsy on
I
YouTube.
knew he'd be
He's
one.
hands down the greatest Fortnite player I've so my community is always like, oh man, you're absolutely making these people look dumb, making them look foolish, or you could easily compete. So if you took that and all the great things my community said about me, he will, with his eyes closed, one hand on his mouse and keyboard, just make me look so foolish. I'll try
Crazy.
my absolute hardest, and there's no competing. And I wholeheartedly think that if he actually went through and competed, he could easily be, if Fortnite ever had another world championship tournament, he could easily top 5. Very much so. Just great. Great mechanics, and just makes it look so easy. It's just unbelievable what he can pull out, and his game sense is top tier with his mechanics. I will hype Bugsy up till the end. He will say 2 words over the span of an entire 12-hour session, but you'll know that he's just great person overall, which is also a great characteristic. What I love about Bugsy is that he doesn't have to say everything, and you'll know exactly what he's thinking. He's one of those people.
Nice.
Um, so Bugsy, someone that doesn't actually play anymore, he switched over to a few games again because of Fortnite's drama that I'm not going to get into. Is his name's Stim, which I actually really funny because just the other day he moved from he moved recently as well, pretty far distance. But everything finally settled, and he was able to come back. And he's like, "Hey, I'll be around more now that everything's kind of settled." But Stim, he used to play Fortnite. He's actually talking about coming back to play Fortnite a little bit, at least casually, seeing how the state of the game is. But I think if he gets back into it, he's absolutely a great player. Um, Thunder Junior has a lot of potential. I'm sorry, am I supposed to? Am I supposed to?
Yeah, right.
I gotta
Oh,
throw
dude,
that
he's
one
so
out there.
hyped. He's so hyped
Thunder
to play, man.
Junior. Thunder Junior out
He's
there's got a little
trying.
bit of potential too.
Controller player. That's what he
Controller
is. Yeah.
players. Um.
He's the scuff kid. Yeah, he likes his scuffs. But yeah,
Uh.
so hey, real quick, who? I guess who from your community has been around the longest? Because I see some names on there, and then I was just curious, like who in that community has been the longest running? It's definitely not me, but who is who is the longest?
Yeah. No. Longest running viewer. Probably one of my moderators. Goes in chat by SD Snipers. Um. Really
SD.
funny. SD. I think she actually gets the most roast out of the entire community, but she also talks the most smack out of the entire community, like to your face, like no chill
It's
type of smack
hilarious.
talk. And she's
So
just like
funny.
this. She's one of my I think she's been with me, I think, pretty much since the very beginning. Her or I mean, obviously like Casper, but like I've known him before streaming, so I don't know if he quite I don't know what you were looking for there. As far as that, because Casper's been with me way before, so he technically is the longest. But since I've been streaming, I think it'd be SD or Maya. Honestly, SD or Maya, one of those two, that have been around since like that kind of just stumbled in since the very beginning. Awaka, he hasn't come around very much recently, but I know he pops in every now and then. I pop into his every now and then, but he was an OG. Got a lot of people actually. There's a lot of people that,
That's a
but
lot
I
of
think
people. Yeah.
SD, yeah, I think SD is the most consistent through all of them and has been there with me the longest.
Nice. All right. So, well, I'll ask you one more question. This one's going to be the hardest, but I know you don't want to talk too much about this, and it's okay. But I do have this question: do you think Fortnite, the new chapter, is harder than the last chapter? Because I feel
That's
like we've won a lot less since the new chapter came out. I feel like it's been a sweat fest, and I don't know if something's changed or what's happened to the game, but something's not the same as the last time. I don't know if it's something with matchmaking. I was just curious if anybody's talked about that or you guys have seen that issue as well, or I just
Are
suck that bad.
you like talking from a competitive standpoint or like
Just regular
hub?
playing squads, yeah, solo
Yeah,
squads. I feel like every time you get to the end, it's like literally it's like a competitive fight at the end instead of like
yeah.
there's no easy players is my point. And last season, I feel like, towards the end, me and my friends, we would play and I mean, we might win 1 out of 6 games, right? Now I'm winning like 1 out of 20.
Hmm.
I was just curious if you guys felt any like extra, like it was harder or not really.
So I don't, for me personally, like, I don't know if I've noticed a huge difference. I'm not saying like, and this kind of, I'm trying to put this. I am a good player. So, like, I think, like I said, I think I'm a little bit better than the average person. So I don't really notice unless I'm facing like someone that like is very
Yeah, I think that
clearly,
makes sense. I think what you're saying makes sense, though.
yeah.
I get that because because you're definitely way better than me. So if you're playing at your level, there's nobody I've seen that I don't think is better than you that I played. So that would make sense to me, I guess. But is there anything else about the season though that you like or dislike? I guess with this water idea.
They need to get rid of the water as soon as possible, or at least bring the level down. I thought it was gonna be like a week to week thing where they bring the water level down, but I think I don't know why they're holding off on it. I think, but from what you're, from that earlier question, I think it is a little bit harder because I read somewhere that they actually removed, um, for this season they removed the previous like skill based, or they like dramatically changed the skill bit how matches are tied in together. So like people, for example, that aren't as good are actually, I think, more likely to hit somebody that's really good, especially like in those squads and everything like that. Like you have those squads of amazing players, but you'll also pair them with like the more casual players instead. So I think that's I think they either removed or somehow changed their algorithm to where they're more likely to get paired.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Well, something happened because the other thing is I think is interesting in that comment though is that I don't understand from obviously Epic's can do whatever the heck they want. They're their own
yeah.
entity, giant entity, right? Make billions of dollars. But
Hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like, if I'm a new player, and we talk about this all the time when we're playing, if I'm a new player and I go into a game like that and I just get absolutely wrecked, like I'm not gonna be playing this game very long,
Yeah.
It's kind of a dumb move on their part, in my opinion, just because
Yeah.
come on, right? You got to be able to go in and have fun. If you're not having fun, the game's not going to work. If I go in and play you, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Like if I have
Yeah.
to go into a game and play you, it's seriously stupid because I'm going to get wrecked so hard. It's not even. I'll be like, what just happened? I'm already dead.
Yeah. So I actually got I could actually go on quite a while about this. I think there's a couple different things that like it's so like I'm like even right now I have two sides ready kind of to fire off. It's like on one hand, you have the competitive play. Like I've seen both sides because I'm both a content creator who happens to be good at the game and is a competitive by nature. So like by nature, I want to be like, let me fight people around my skill level, and like I want to be able to do that, um, and be challenged in a pub game, but at the same time, and like for me, fighting people, for example, that aren't as good isn't going to be as fun for me because it's just like I'm just I don't want to walk around in bot lobbies. I don't want to walk around and absolutely ruin so and so's day who's clearly not clearly not on my skill level. So like I get the competitive side. So I guess what I'm saying is like from a content creator side, not having skill-based matchmaking is really nice,
Yeah, because you need
but
those clips.
because
It makes
you
sense.
need
Yeah,
those
you need
clips.
someone to run around as a decoy so
Yeah,
you could.
right.
I
I
totally
need
get
those
it.
clips, but I want
I
to be able to
agree.
interact with my chat and not have to focus on the game too hard and just kind of play
Yeah.
more casually and still get a win every now and then because
It
it's
has some cool
satisfying.
things done, like cool shots. I get
Yeah,
it. Makes it fun too.
but
I get it. I get it completely. I wonder if the amount of people playing has gone down. Like I'd be curious to know their numbers if they've gone down or up. Because like I said, I don't know if you have a lot of the bot type players anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen many bad players. I mean, not when I say bad, at least to my
yeah,
level,
like
and
casual.
I'm an average,
Casual is the
yeah,
polite word, I
casual
think.
player. How dare you? I'm just kidding. So
Casual players,
yeah.
I think, the polite way of saying it.
Well, where do you see the industry
Uh,
going? I guess that was my question. Do you think streamers like yourself will continue doing Fortnite, or you think it's going to move into something else as we go?
well, we've seen the industry shift already. I mean, like if you even just by going on Twitch, all the it's unfortunate, but like all of the Fortnite streamers, all of the biggest name Fortnite streamers have already like, except for like a handful, have already switched. I'm like, you had Ninja playing Warzone, Tfue. He splits his time between Warzone and Fortnite, and before he was only doing Fortnite, and then he recently spoke about how much fun he's having on Warzone. So I don't know if it's uh that people are getting bored of Fortnite. I think it's just like it has been out for so long. It's like people are more looking for that refresh, but still like I think I talked to somebody else the other day. They still like the dynamic of Fortnite. They just like there needs to be a few changes, especially like communication from Epic is what we'd like to see, which is something huge that they used to do that they're not doing anymore. Um, but as far as like streamers like myself, I like the dynamic of Fortnite from a content creation side of things and community side of things because it is super easy just to hop into creative and hang out with my viewers and talk to them and ask them how their day is. And instead of reading what they're saying in chat, I get to actually have that human interaction and connection with them. And there's always that feeling of, hey, I get to play with my favorite streamer, and like and it's really cool, and I get to play with these people that have been with me for so long versus like Call of Duty. I can't like four-man lobbies tops, can't really do that. It's definitely more a competitive kind of game. So I think I think if someone that started on Fortnite, a streamer that started on Fortnite, should absolutely stick to at least occasionally playing Fortnite if they want to continue having a healthier community. Because it's such an easy game to connect with people on. I think it really is. Because at any level, like I said, you can hop into a creative, open lobby and like be able to have the interaction, have a teaching lesson, have a just a fun time. There's so many things in Fortnite that you can do. Hide and seek. I was doing that the other day and like different mini games like within the game and just like talking, interacting. It is a really fun game. Like even like the new. I honestly don't mind the fact that I jump out of my seat every time a shark comes out of the water and attacks me. Like
Yeah.
or get the cool like 360 clips. Like there's things. I think it's how you look at it. I like the new. I will say I hated the new season when I first came out.
Yep.
I like the new season from a content creation side of it. Competitive side, it's terrible new season. Content creation, community side of it, Fortnite's in a great state. Could do different shotguns. Shotguns kind of
Yeah,
suck.
I know.
Shotguns
I'm
are
not a fan
horrible.
of it. Not a fan.
Not a fan of the shotguns at all. But if I'm not playing Fortnite competitively, or if I don't let it get to me, and I'm actually just having fun with my community, or I'm just having fun with the people I'm playing with, and all the really cool things that they're actually doing with the game, it's actually a really fun game. I think it's really healthy. I think people's mindset right now is really corrupt on how they are looking at Fortnite as a whole. That's just my honest opinion. Um,
I
I
see
think the
money.
way that people, yeah, I think the way that people are looking at Fortnite right now is that they're too spoiled with wins, if that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
people are like, man, I'm not winning as much, but like, I will go a week of playing Call of Duty Warzone and not get a single win, but I will still
Yep.
play it religiously because it's fun.
I think
So
that's a
like,
fair assessment though, because season 4, season 5. Okay, if we go back to the last, whatever you want to call it, the chapters, however you want to do it. If we go back, it was really hard to win for a while, and I mean, like you said, you'd win like once in a while, and then the last season, it was so easy to win.
it was
Anybody could
yeah,
win,
like
and so it kind of brought this new, like you said, everybody just expects to be able to pull a win, just like I said earlier, right? Oh, 1 in every 6 games we win. Now it's 1 in every 30, right? So now we're
mm-hmm.
losing a little bit of that oomph because they that's their fault. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have
Yeah,
given us
that's
that
kind of they
taste
kind of
of
split
glory.
right of that like, oh man, we're winning every game. I literally and this is gonna make me sound a little like I don't know up there, but I'm like, I literally got to the point where I was like, I'm not having fun because I'm winning. I remember very specifically saying that on stream, like these lobbies are too easy
Too easy,
because
yeah.
like because of from last season the how many, for example, bots were in the game. It was like I'll go an
Hmm.
entire game and it was like every squad I ran to and was bots. I was like, I'm actually not having fun because I'm
Yeah,
winning too much. There's not enough
yeah.
challenge. I'm not
It's
I
too
but I
easy.
don't want to.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I
but you're
think I
right.
think
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, that's how you go into it. If you don't go into the game expecting to win every game or even every like 5, 10 games, don't go into the game expecting to win every 10 games, every 15 games. And I think you'll have a lot more fun with the game. This not like you, but like people in general, you know. Um, Focus more on like the people you're playing with. Focus more on like, dude, like I can pick up the shockwave nade launcher and just send people flying outside of the storm. Like I tried so hard, so many games, just trying to get a win like that. And
That's hilarious.
so many times we're so close. So like, it's like do that thing. Like instead of like, man, I'm trying my hardest and I'm not getting the win, I'm getting frustrated. Be like, you can win. You players out there, especially now that you guys have tasted the win and you guys know what it's like to win. You guys know you can win. You guys know at least for your level, like you're capable of doing it. Now just have fun with it. Like pick up the hunting rifle, go for the no scope. That's what I would share with people. Is like Fortnite is a game. I think Fortnite is should be looked at as more of a game of like human interaction, community talking, that kind of thing, like having fun with the people you're playing with, having fun, using it as more of an outlet, uh, as a way to connect with the people you're playing with versus we need to get this win. If you want that mentality, switch to Call of Duty, switch to Apex, switch to a different game. If that's what your mentality is to like I have to win every single game. But if you're thinking like I'm gonna have fun, maybe catch a win or two, maybe absolutely get lost in someone else's builds because I don't even know what's going. Like just like
Yep,
kind of
absolutely.
like that. I guess that would
Savage
be my
Stringer,
thoughts on it.
Savage Stringer guys, always fun to talk to you, Ben, and chat with you about everything in gaming world, especially. I will link all of Savage's links below, so you guys need to check it out and you get a couple minutes. And I appreciate your time, and I know you're a busy person, so thank you so much for doing this.
I love being here. I'm pretty.